is Shelby. Welcome back to A Little Literary Love. I'm glad you all are with me. Y'all are getting an extra video this week because I usually only post one day a week, but since June starts like in the middle of the week, I don't know, I'm very excited for June. June is my favorite month of the year, so I kind of wanted to make a TBR video, but I already had kind of like my content planned for June, so I'm just gonna like sneak it in here in the middle of the week. And yeah, we're gonna give you a June TBR video. So if you can't tell, like I already said, June is my favorite month of the year. One, because it's my birthday month. So of course I'm going to love my birthday month. But then also because June is Pride Month and I'm so excited for Pride. I am not an LGBTQ like member, but I am a supporter, and it just, I don't know, Pride Month just makes me so happy. It's all about love, and as a romance reader who loves love, I can't help but love Pride. And also because, I mean, their flag is all rainbow and I love colorful things, so it's just perfect. But yeah, so I thought I would just go ahead and kind of do a TBR. I have made myself like an overly ambitious TBR, and I am not exaggerating when I say overly ambitious. Because there are a few readathons going on in June for Pride Month, and there is also, I'm just kind of personally, I was wanting to read Sierra Simone's Backlist during June, which is like literally all right here. So I really doubt I'm gonna be able to get to all of these books because I've been averaging, I would say, I think I can probably get like 20 books read this month, which is basically all of Sierra Simone's Backlist. So if that's all I was reading, then I could probably make it, but then I'm also wanting to read all these books for these like readathons that are happening. So I don't know, maybe I might just extend my Sierra Simone Backlist into July, but I was really just want to do that. Anyway, so like I said, I'm really wanting to read the entirety of Sierra Simone's Backlist. I was gonna plan on probably trying to start from like the very beginning of her writing career to like the most recent, sort of around that, but I'm not gonna hop around the series for the most part. We'll see how that goes because it depends. I thought I could probably do this because a lot of her books are on audio, and I've either already bought them on like Audible or they're on Scribd, which is an audiobook subscription service that I do. So I could get out like a pretty good chunk of those just by listening to them on audiobook, like while I'm at work or driving my car or doing housework around my house. So I thought I could do that. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so if I can, I would like to try to get to all of Sierra Simone's Backlist. She is one of my like all-time favorite authors, and I've read most of her books, but there is still like a couple of series that I haven't read yet, and I would just like to read all of them because even the ones that I have read, they're favorites of mine and I haven't reread them, and so I've been really wanting to reread them. So I just thought this would be like the perfect opportunity if I just took a month or maybe 2 months, because I'm wanting to read other stuff too, to just read her entire backlist so that I can like reread my favorites and read the ones that I haven't read, and just I'll have her totally done and read everything. So I'm going to start with The Awakening of Ivy Leavold. This, I believe, is her first series. This is a historical romance. This is the Markham Hall series, and it starts with this book, which I did already read that series before, so that would be a reread. And then right after that, this is a spin-off series of that, is the London Lovers series, which starts with The Seduction of Molly O'Flaherty, or Flaherty. Anyway, and then The Wedding of Molly O'Flaherty. So I need to get to this because I haven't read this series. Then is going to be the new Camelot series, which starts off with American Queen and then goes to American Prince and then American King. And I have read this before, and so this one would be a reread. However, I have not read the 2 novellas that take place right after the series. So the first one is the Cards of Love, The Moon, and then American Squire is the other novella from that series, which I've also heard this one ties into her Thornchapel series, which we'll get into in a second. Then we have some of her like standalone books. So the Misadventures books with the Professor in blue, and then I don't have it, but with a curvy girl. And then the 2 books she wrote with Laurelyn Page, so Hot Cop and Porn Star. So all of these standalones would be rereads for me. Then the Priest series, starting with Priest, and then Midnight Mass, and then Sinner, and then Saint, which all of those would also be rereads for me. And then Once Upon a Dream, which is just a book with like a few like novellas that she had did and published in some like anthologies, and she just kind of like put them all together in like a book. So I think I've only read one of these. So one of these would be a reread, and then the other 2 novellas in this would be new for me. And then the last would be the Thornchapel series, which starts with A Lesson in Thorns and then goes to Feast of Sparks, and then Harvest of Sighs, and then Door of Bruises. I've only read the first one of this series, and then the rest of it I haven't read before, so this would be the only one that would be a reread for me. So yeah, that's like 20 plus books, and I think I can probably only read like about 20 books in the month, so I might have to push some of these back to July and just make it, maybe I'll just make it like a Sierra Simone summer. Oh, it's alliteration, that works. I'll do that. Anyway, so then there's one readathon that I for sure want to do, and that is going to be the queer romance readathon, which is going to be like right before my birthday. It's June 13th through the 20th, and my birthday is the week after that. And there's a lot of different prompts on there. I believe Beautifully Bookish Bethany is the one that is like kind of hosting this, and she's got some other people that are also going to be hosting, but she's like the main one that kind of like, I believe, that created this. So I'll try, if I can, to remember to leave a link down below for it. But there's a lot of different things like prompts and stuff on here. So I have a bunch of books for that I do want to try to read. And then just in general, I just kind of want to read a bunch of queer type books, and I'm wanting to try to branch out more and read more BIPOC, I think is how you say that acronym, like persons of color, like authors, and just other authors that identify as something different than me, whether that be like race, color wise, or like sexual orientation or gender, or orientation. And I just want to try to like experience and read more of those type of authors to get a different perspective from my own. So I'm trying to prioritize more of that if I can, instead of just reading like gay romances written by like cis women, even though a bunch of those like sound really good too. So I'll probably read those too, but I'm trying my best to prioritize the others. Anyway, so the Queer Romance Readathon, they do have a group book for it, and the group book is going to be Drag Me Up by, I believe it's by R.M. Virtues. So that's the group book, and you can basically get a bingo just by reading this one book because it fits so many prompts. But this is like a Hades and Persephone retelling, but it's a trans Persephone, and I think like one or both of them is Black and maybe Latino, I don't remember, but it's like just got all the queerness, and I'm super duper excited to try this. I haven't tried any kind of AMBITIOUS books before, but I've heard so many good things about this, and I'm like super duper excited to read it. Then I want to try to get to Olivia Waite. She has a lot of sapphic romances, and they're like historical romances, and there's a few of those are on Scribd. So I want to try to get to one of those. I don't know which one I'm going to get to, or if I'm going to get to several of those, but I've also heard really good things about those. There's one that's like the Mechanic's Guide to Celestial or something that I've heard really good things about. And I don't know, like I said, just in general, I've heard really good things, and I'm really excited to try those out, and those knock out some of the prompts for that readathon. Oh, and then A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. I believe this just came out or is coming out already. I don't know. It's like brand new, and this is about like best friends, and one of them is trans, and they like fall in love. And I've so far, just from like people were getting like arcs of it, I've heard it's really good, and I'm really excited to try this one out. I don't know where I'm gonna like buy it. I'll probably end up trying to see if I can find it like an audiobook version of it, so I can do that. But yeah, I'm super excited to try that one out. And then I'm just gonna give you like a bunch of other like romances that I have on my TBR list that I'd like to try to get to. Again, who knows if I will. And I don't really know exactly like a whole bunch about all of these, because I just like looked through to find like all the queer romances that I have, and I just wrote them down, and I'm gonna try them out. So one of them is going to be The Doctor's Discretion by E.E. Ottoman. I believe this is a historical romance, and it is a male-male romance, and this is also by a trans author, so it's pretty cool. Hold Me by Courtney Milan. I've heard that this features a trans character, and this is by an Asian author, which I haven't read a ton of those Asian authors, so I want to try to get that kind of experience in my reading. And then I want to try some Adriana Herrera. I'm probably butchering that name, but we all know that I'm terrible with names, so it's fine, it's whatever. And she has a lot of queer romances. I believe she's queer. I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. But I've heard Finding Joy is one that's really good. That's like a really sweet romance, male-male. And then she's got some other ones that's like American Dreamer, I think it's one. And I've just heard really good things about all those. I haven't read a ton of sapphic romances, so I'm wanting to try to get some more sapphic romances read. Liza James is one that writes sapphic romances, so Vibe is one of her books, and again, I'm not 100% sure if she is a queer author or not, so, you know, leave a comment down below if correcting me on any of these. I want to try to learn. And then, oh, and Anna Stone is another one that she has some books on Scribd, and she writes a lot of sapphic romances, like Being Hers and Tangled Vows are two of them. So I'd like to try to get to those. Oh, and then Lily Main writes a ton of male-male romances, and she writes a lot of, like, she has some, like, fantasy romance, and then she's got this, like, monster romance. I don't know if it's, like, science fiction or fantasy, but it's, like, men with, like, these monsters, which I've kind of been on, like, a monster romance kick lately, so that sounds really good. That I like to try those. C.E. Ritchie, I think is how you say that author's name. I've heard really good things about all of their books, and I don't know if this author is male or female, so that's what I'm saying there, or non-binary. And I've had a few friends like tell me that I should read some of their books. So Don't You Dare is one of them that I've been told I need to read. And then I've also heard the like Follow the River is like gut-wrenching, and it's so good. So I've heard that's really good. I would like to try to get to that. There's Not Allowed by Kate Hawthorne, which is a male romance again, but this one I'm pretty sure is like best friend's dad, and it's like age gap, I believe, and it just like sounds really juicy, and I want to try that one out. And then there's a couple that I haven't really like heard of, like queer romances like in this genre. So there's the sci-fi romance called Captured by Sam Burns and W.M. Fox, I believe, and this is like an alien mailman romance, which I'm very intrigued by, because basically all of the alien romances that I read, like there's absolutely zero like nothing about like gay characters, like women being together. It's all about like Ice Planet Barbarians, it's all about trying to save the two races, and so they need the women to like get pregnant with babies. So like there's nothing mentioned. So I'm very excited and curious to read a male alien romance. And then along those lines is Bad Blood by Ashlyn Mills and Charlie Child, which is a mafia male romance, and I have been looking for gay mafia romances, so male, and I haven't heard anything about like a sapphic male mafia romance. So if you know of one, make sure you leave a comment down below so I can check it out. But that's another like kind of like trope that I feel like is notorious for partnering up couples that are straight. And if there is a character that's gay, they talk about how they have to like, they get killed because it's a big no-no within the mafia. So I really want to know how that would play out with having a gay character in a mafia and doing like a romance with it. I'm very curious and I want to read it. Oh, and then I really need to try to get to Only James, because Only James has been like everywhere with her like Psycho series. I don't know what the series is called, but the first one is called Unhinged, and everybody loves the series and I have yet to start it, so I really need to get on to this series. Oh, and then I'd like to try out Quinn Ward, which Quinn Ward, I believe, is a like non-binary author, and they have Wild Pitch, which is a male romance in like sports, and I believe it's Friends to Lovers. And I think that might be a series too. I could be wrong, but that sounded really cool and I wanted to try that one out too. And then I have some like Riley Hart and Ella Frank are a couple of authors that I have read some of their books and really enjoyed, and they like write a lot of male romances that I need to try to get to. But yeah, if you can't tell, most of my TBR is male romances, because that's what it seems like the majority of like queer romances are written about. And I mean, that's cool, I want to read them, but I'm kind of also like, where are all these like sapphic romances at? If you know of some really good ones, let me know so I can try to check them out. Like I said, my TBR is just ginormous, and I know I'm not going to get to all of these, but if you know of a good queer romance, let me know, and I will just add it to my ever-growing TBR list, and I will hopefully get to it at some point. But yeah, so anyway, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to leave a comment down below with some queer romances for me to read, and then also what are some romances that you're looking forward to reading in the month of June. I look forward to hearing from you, but otherwise I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.